There we go. So, Jason, we were having a conversation about, mainly it sounded like about business, and what I want to discuss, well, I mean, it's massage, but it's massage business as well. I just wanted to discuss, massage and body work and the stuff that we're dealing with as niche marketing in our industry. And when I say niche, what I mean is you're doing Lomi Lomi, which is, I think it's sort of body work people don't know about. The only reason I know about it is because I, am in the industry. I know about craniosacral therapy. A lot of people have no idea at all. They know massage, and that's basically as far as it goes. That's how far Massage Envy has gotten in their education. So
Lomi is getting more and more popular amongst therapists, but as far as the clientele wanting to receive Lomi, it's still fairly unknown. Well, we could say the same thing about Rolfing and advanced myofascial work, because most people, when they go for massage, it's either Swedish or deep tissue, which is kind of a general term that explains all different kinds of modalities. Swedish is kind of just one particular thing, which is actually born out of sports massage, and so Lomi is this other thing that's like, oh boy, what is this? Lomi, what is this? And so it's not as broadly known, I think, as some of the other stuff out there.
Yeah. I think that your work, if I had to guess, it's a little bit more easily incorporated into table-based work in a way that is seamless, whereas what I'm doing with teaching what I call table tie can be a little bit more challenging to help therapists understand, because they can take a class with you and incorporate techniques quickly.
Right.
And I focus on that as well, but they're not long flowing strokes. I don't focus on as much on effleurage in my practice, on flowing strokes. But when it comes to marketing, I think on either end of the spectrum, Lomi's kind of flashy. It's got a little flair to it. I haven't seen a lot of it, so when we shot the video earlier, I was actually surprised to see just how much movement was involved.
Yeah, it's different from your regular Swedish. It's different from most of the other modalities that you see out there. We don't really even consider Lomi a modality, even though that there are techniques contained within this process. Lomi is more of like a philosophy and kind of a life walk almost. It's about you as a therapist and being able to tap into the best aspects of you as a therapist, as a heart-centered human being, and helping people. So there is a technique set within that, whereas other modalities that are strict modalities have a definite sequence and a point A to point B type thing, and this is what we're doing, and this is why we're doing it. So Lomi is a little bit more improvisational to a degree, a little bit more, I guess, flashy, as you would say. It's definitely good to watch. I can remember back in massage school when we were teaching routine in Swedish, and watching massage is almost like watching paint dry to a certain degree. It's just kind of boring almost to watch it, to receive it. No, it's great to receive it, but kind of boring to watch it. And one of the edges that I think Lomi has is when people see it, they're really engaged with it.
Visually taken with it.
They are visually taken with it.
And that's really what I wanted to hone in on, is the fact that one of the things I realized about Thai massage is Thai massage from a marketing standpoint was a challenge because people looked at it and said, that's not massage, because it wasn't on a table typically.
Right.
You're using your legs and feet and things. But then when I thought about it from a marketing standpoint, the advantage it had was the client was closed, so I could film everything.
Yeah.
And from that standpoint, it goes back to what I keep telling massage therapists related to video production, is that if you can give people a sample of what you do and you're able to work with them consistently to be able to give them video content, they're able to interact with you at a distance where they may see you 5 or 7 times, but then they finally trust you enough to come in and get a session. And I think it really helps people get over the hurdle. And it's the way that independent massage therapists, when we talk about Massage Envy, they're a big chain, they have a huge ad budget. Massage therapists have Facebook Live. All they have to do is take out their phone and press a button and record, safely, 5-10 minutes of what they're doing in a day with the client's permission, of course. And then you're made. You're consistently putting out content because, you own the TV channel now. You are the network.
Right. Yeah, I think that's kind of maybe an edge that we have over some of these places, in that we can be very personable with it, so that you can kind of get to know your therapist. I've noticed that on a lot of these other sites, websites, for the franchises, that they don't have bios for people. I think there's a reason for that. I think because there's a really high turnover rate on those things, so they can't keep up a bio, without it being taken down or replaced by somebody else. But, I think also getting to know your therapist is something that is monumentally important to retaining clientele. They've got to like you. They got to, see who you are and see how you operate and see how you act and see how you carry yourself. Whereas you go to places, great therapists work at these places, but you're kind of like, ooh, who am I getting? Oh, I'm getting Doug. Well, who's Doug? Well, I don't know who Doug is. Like, well, I'm getting Robert. Who's Robert? Here he is. We've seen him on TV. We've seen him on the video feeds. Who's Jason? We've seen him, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, Massage Envy is such a huge, multinational corporation at this stage that they can't focus on individual therapists. But even if you are a fledgling massage therapist or spa owner, let's say you have one location, you have 10 therapists who work for you, it's very easy to have a page on your website that basically links all those various massage therapists talking about, not just in text, what they do, but a short video. It's a short promo video that promotes you within that facility's marketing.
You brought up a really interesting point a while back when you gave that talk at Lauderstein Conway about how a lot of us are just shy to get in front of the camera.
Yeah.
We won't get in front of the camera because we're like, oh, get in front of the camera. No, I'm better behind closed doors with the room dark. And it's and it's really kind of forcing us in a good way, kind of gently nudging us out the door to get more into the light. I even had those issues, even though I've taught in front of groups of people and and feel comfortable. But I get in front of a camera and I'm like, oh God, it's like, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? Am I going to screw that up? And I just have to breathe and relax and just go through it and not really care. So I think that's also important too. That those of us who are independents that are trying to maintain a business and trying to be businesslike, we have to really put our face out there and not just a picture on a website, with a little bio. That helps, but I think the live medium really does help.
It's the thing is, it's so interesting to me because our work is so deeply intimate because we deal with touch. We feel like we sell touch and we're selling intimacy to a degree, but we're afraid to be on camera because it's like now it's technology. Mm-hmm. We're not in a tech industry.
No.
But the thing is, if there was any industry that actually benefits from video production, I would say it's ours because it gives people a chance to hear my voice, to see me and decide fairly quickly, is this somebody I want to interact with? Mm-hmm. And if they do, well, I'm providing them information about what I do. You're educating the public. And when I see therapists complaining about business and complaining about massage therapy and chains and establishments, I'm like, you have more power than any massage therapist in human history. Yeah. Like, all you have to do is press a button on your phone and you're able to educate people about what you do specifically and what's different about it. And that's a huge strategic advantage that a large corporation is never going to be able to take advantage of in the same way.
Yeah.
They're never going to be as personal.
Right.
And I'm hyper personal at this stage.
Right.
I mean, I would shoot a video and I was making jokes out of it where in the evening I'd have a little downtime. I'd want to shoot a quick 10-minute Facebook Live and I'm drinking a beer. And I had this thought where I'm like, I don't know if I should do that. Is that professional? And I'm like, I'm not drunk. I'm just having a beer.
Right.
And the thing is, it's like people's relation to me and connection with me, that sense of intimacy, what I hear is, wow, Robert's just like me. Like, he's just having a beer around his house. Like, they feel like they get to know me. And what it does is it increases that intimacy, which is what we were trying to foster to begin with.
Right. And I think there are boundaries and limits to that. But I think you bring up a good point in that when we're trying to put forth a sense of business self as opposed to therapeutic self, we're masters at putting forth a sense of therapeutic self, but the business self, what do we do? How do we do it? Do we need to go into it with the corporate mindset? I don't think so. I think we can be down to earth and be ourselves and still maintain that professionalism, with the occasional beer here and there. I mean, I think that's, that's totally fine. But be able to, still be who it is that we are as therapists and convey that business self, and be down to earth, because I think there's a disconnect between the corporate world and the way the corporate world sees massage and the way we see massage. There's a vast difference, and I think the way we see massage is vastly superior. If the corporate world starts to see massage the way we do it, then I think we're really going to be in trouble, because then we'll have no choice but to go work there.
Well,
You know?
the thing is, do you think that a large corporation, a large business could ever recreate the sort of connection we're trying to foster with clients?
They would if they thought it was economically feasible, because remember, they see things in terms of percentages and profit.
Yeah.
That's what they see. They see computer numbers. They don't see heart level. They don't see human level, even though they're human beings doing it. But their mind
See,
is.
I think they're so inextricably linked.
I think they're linked to a degree, but
Yeah.
I think they're linked to a degree. But I also think that there's definitely a disconnect, and I mean, that's kind of just my opinion, because I don't like those places much anymore.
The thing that I tell therapists, and I try to explain this a little bit, when Massage Envy takes the helm, Massage Envy is actually doing massage therapists a favor, in the sense that massage is now known. Massage exists. We can get massage. It's available. They've helped create that box. But to me, it's a lot like Anheuser-Busch and Miller Lite. There's beer. And then what happened was microbrews. And the microbrew, like the other day I was drinking a Fat Tire. Now, Fat Tire is a beer from Fort Collins, Colorado, the New Belgium Brewing Company. Their company is apparently like all wind-powered. Like everything about it is like the beer has flavor and pizzazz, in a way that Miller Lite or Busch don't have. But then what's happened is the microbrews started to take a large enough share of the industry that large breweries started buying microbrews.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't remain competitive unless they did. So the thing is, what I'm trying to get therapists to understand is, like, we can't compete with McDonald's selling a hamburger. We have to sell a grass-fed, local, artisanal greens, homemade buns.
Yeah, we're the 512 of massage. We're the 512 microbrewery of massage,
And the thing is, your work specifically
Right.
can't be mass-produced.
Right.
Because people are interacting and connecting with you.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting about this technology, is because it allows that decentralized sort of authority where, we're authority figures because we pressed a button on a phone.
Yeah.
If we can educate people about what it is we do specifically, why my work is good for chronic pain, why your work is good for
Chronic pain and enlightenment and
relaxation.
Yeah,
And the stresses of Austin tech work
feeling
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, even though our work is slightly different, there's a niche market for it, but the technology allows us to reach those niche markets.
Yeah.
So what I consistently do, and it's always frustrating because I'm a curmudgeon, I'm grumpy, I'm ornery about things that frustrate me. But instead of looking at the challenges in the industry just as a problem, I started to look at them as an opportunity. And I say, well, the schools aren't educating and the large companies aren't educating. And I'm like, you have a phone, go educate.
Right.
Become the solution in the educational channel.
Yeah, absolutely. I originally scoffed at the idea, but then I had to take a couple of steps back and go, okay, I probably need to start doing this. And so, I did my first live video several weeks ago. It's 25 minutes long, and there it is. It's out there on the world. But it was the first step.
How many views do you know?
I got a lot of views. In fact, when I went back and looked at it, I had over 2,000 views.
One. And the thing is, like, then all it does is it just fuels me. And it's like, make more video content, talk to more people, educate more people, engage the audience.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with Lomi, Lomi's different because it is a little bit. It's a bodywork system that when people see, they have two reactions. They go, "Wow, that looks really great. I want to receive that," and then the other one is like, "There ain't no way I'm putting my butt on the table," and that sort of thing. So there's two different types of reactions. Hopefully, I get the first reaction more so than I get the second reaction, and those that get that second reaction, hopefully they want to maybe probe into it a little bit deeper and kind of get the knowledge that it's not what they think it is.
If they see it again and again,
Yeah.
it starts to normalize.
Right.
And the thing is, in the end, let's say 30% of the audience, for whatever reason, they don't like that. Okay, but you're still drawing that 70% of the audience, and that 70% of the audience is able to share your video with their friends, family, loved ones, so you're building a bigger audience long term.
Yeah. I think the problem that I have, because my business struggles, my private practice struggles, and that's my fault. It's my fault because I don't know how to successfully advertise myself in the way that I should. I'm taking advantage of all the free advertising that I can. And I've had people tell me that they've nearly bankrupted themselves with paper ads and that sort of thing. So that's kind of the situation that I'm in. You know, I have a part-time job that I work at, which I don't tell anybody because I don't want potential private clients going there. And then I have my private practice where I see people for Lomi and for all the other type of body work that I do for people. So trying to get more people in the door has been my challenge. Sometimes I have good months, sometimes I have months that, you know, they're not there. But I think that's also just kind of on me as well to not advertise in the way that I need to.
Yeah.
And that's a subject that is an uncomfortable subject because most of us are heart-centered people. We're not business-minded people. And I understand that, you know, but I don't know, I guess because I'm old school, I want to still maintain that heart-centered thing and do all that and not, you know, sell out to this, you know, I don't want to be this corporate thing. I don't want to be this corporation. I don't want to be that.
The heart-centered and the business, man, it's when you roll both of them together is when you're running on all cylinders.
Right.
And the thing is, it's easier than ever to be able to reach out directly to your market. My first thought is, we use the video equipment in some form. We shoot like a very short, succinct, minute-long video that demonstrates what you do. They hear your voice, they see your face, and we run that Facebook ad locally here in Austin within a certain range.
Mm-hmm.
And you just pick a budget. It's $5 a day, $10 a day. And the thing is, if you get one client for every day that thing runs in your private practice, you're building a following. You know, it's like it can change everything. And if anything, therapists have more options than at any time in, you know, past history. Like, we used to advertise through the Yellow Pages.
Yeah.
How interactive is that?
Not very.
Yeah.
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 And
like
we were advertising with a lot of other things too that were not massage related but said they were. You know, back at the Chronicle and places like that. It's like, come on, you know.
Cool.
But
you just work at it where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what has given me a lot of success is that I didn't just stay in one particular area. I kind of moved into being an educator, first being an instructor, and then being a CE provider, and kind of taking that route. You know, I'm not going to say that it's possible for everybody to do that. It certainly is, but I think you also have to really work at it and create your niche in what it is that you do. I've told people coming out of school, don't be mediocre. Don't be just another drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Don't do that, and don't let the establishments make you that. That's the one thing, you know, in my soapbox. Do not let those places that you go work at to earn your living, don't let them make you just an average, ordinary therapist. You have a trade skill. You have a trade skill that means something. There is value in that. You have value. Robert has immense value. I have immense value. You have immense value. Create something. Because there's enough to go around. How many people are in Austin now?
100 new people a day move here. I don't know what the population
We've got
is.
a couple of mil here. How many therapists do we have? They say that this market is saturated with therapists because we have a few schools. Well, a couple of them closed down, so we have a couple of schools that are still pumping out the therapists. You know, even with that, there's still enough to go around. So don't feel discouraged in that. I have to kind of tell myself that, but I'm telling all of you that too. Don't be discouraged. Don't feel like, well, I'm just another, you know. No, you're not. You are not. Create something. Find niche. I found Lomi. Before this, I was trained by people who did Rolfing. I did all this clinical fix-it work. I loved doing that, but I got tired of just doing that. I wanted to do something more, something more, something more. And for me, it was Lomi. For Robert, it was Reboot. It was the Thai stuff. It was that. You know, that's what you need to do is find that which, you know, inspires you the most in the work that you do, and then just build upon that and just keep building upon it and building upon it. And use these franchises, use these places, use them. They're using you, use them. Use them as a stepping stone to greater things. Don't make that a career.
So where can people contact you?
You can contact me through Austin Lomi, LomiBodyWorks.com. That's my website, Austin Lomi, Lomi, AustinLomiBodyworks.com. That has all of the information about upcoming workshops, classes. I do private teachings as well for small groups of people in their homes if they want to do that. I've had great success with doing that for people to teach the work in a more intimate setting. The big workshop settings are great too. A lot of closeness. It's very experiential type of, it's not a PowerPoint type thing. It's very circle oriented. We learn together, we create together, we share together, and you get some really great CEs and some good skill set knowledge. And then of course all the other body work that I do. Everything is on my website. So.
Yeah. Do you often recommend that potential students come get a session with you?
Yeah. And I've had people say, I want to take a class, but I want to receive the session first.
Yeah.
So I take them through a consultation with Lomi. You have to. With any massage, you have to, but with Lomi, there's a little bit extra that you have to kind of get into as far as talking to people with boundaries and that sort of thing. So that's,
Yeah.
But
So, I mean, for people in the Austin area, they're able to come see us for a session, which I'm actually intrigued that more therapists don't come out and do that when they're interested in studying, because if they really want to see what I do, it's easiest to just come get a session and then
Yeah.
you know.
I think a lot of the people that have come to my workshops, it's kind of the word of mouth. Oh, you got to go take a workshop from this. You got to take this workshop, take this workshop. And I've had, a certain amount, a smaller amount than usual that say, oh, they want to experience a session from me first. And it's like, go on ahead. I'm not that expensive. Lomi is a little bit more involved process, longer work. So the price is a little bit higher for it, but it's not out of your reach. And I've always been $1 a minute therapist ever since I was, first started this. So I'm pretty fair, maybe too fair in some people's eyes. But, like those corporate places, they want to have massage available to everybody, not just the rich, which was a myth that they kind of sold to you. No, massage has been available to everybody in all type of income structures and everything.
Time massage jams, $5.
Right.
Yeah. So listen, thanks for chatting today.
Thank you, Robert.
Hopefully
It's great
we can
being here.
do this again soon.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about that. And then business-wise, you just work at it, just like everybody else.
Yeah, that's what I have to.
It's ongoing, Yeah, the ongoing maintenance, I think, is some of the most challenging, but it's also the most rewarding financially long term.
Yeah. Thanks for this. It was good to talk about this today.
Welcome. Thanks so much.